Python, passing flags to functions. For a long time I have been trying to figure out what is the best way to pass flags to Python functions. The most straightforward way is something like this. Is really nice and concise, but incredibly hard to read, since the word true or false tells you nothing about what flag is being set, and you have to carefully count the arguments starting from the left. You can make them keyword arguments. But this is kind of redundant, since the true doesn't carry any meaning at all. I could pass it as a list. Or but the first feels rather dirty, using strings as flags, and the second is still somewhat repetitive. Ideally I want to say something like to pass flags to a function with minimal verbosity and redundancy. Is there any way to do something like this in Python? Edit. I ended up going with mostly for the reasons mentioned, compile time checking, versus passing in strings, no namespace pollution, as opposed to using global in UMS, and minimal boilerplate, equals 1 or equals 0 is only 2 characters, versus 5 or 6 for equals true or equals false. It also makes setting default values for the flags very easy, which is far more clear and far more easy than jumping through hoops to extract and assign defaults to Quark-style flags. The flags are basically statically checked and very clear/clean to write. Now if only I could shave off the last 2 characters.
You can define flag1, flag as global variables, and define your function with funcargs. By defining flags separately, instead of using string, you can avoid typos in flags names and some headache when debugging.
I am missing the good old bitwise flags.
Some Python standard libraries use this. You can tweak this approach by using args. I would really recommend going with flag1 equals true. It is readable. Flag name is checked at compile time, unless quargs is used. You can use flag equals 1 and flag equals 0 instead of true and false to reduce the noise. You can temporarily change long underscore flag underscore name underscore you underscore don't underscore remember equals true to false without retyping the long name when you will need to change back.
With args. This is a good question to understand how args and quargs work. Args and quargs?
What about flipping it over?
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.